Hi, Olga.
Hello. Just my sign is today my connection is really bad. I don't know why. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Hopefully good enough to remain connected.
Oh, well, lots of people have joined early. That's good. I can hear quite a big, heavy repeat on my voice, so I won't speak for too long or it'll be really distracting. Lisa, are you sharing your screen at any point, or are you going to talk? How is it going to work? You're muted.
Yes, we are sharing the screen.
Right. Well, we have another 5 minutes before we can start because obviously we're not on time yet. So if anyone has things to do, feel free to turn your video off and make a cup of tea or whatever you want to do.
Elisa, would you like to try to share the presentation and check if it works?
Yep, we can see that. I can see that anyway.
Yes, it works perfectly.
Great, we'll leave that up until we start then.
So. Interrompi la condivisione adesso, se no faccio nascondi. Sì. No, ci fosse le voci di farti vedere in faccia, magari lasci tu adesso così parliamo di qua. Vabbè, che ti si vede comunque. Quindi.
Right then, it is now 3 p.m. Central European time, so I think we can get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Dave. Oh my goodness, there's a horrible echo on this. If anyone's got their microphones on, could they turn them off for a second? My name's Dave. For those of you that don't know me, I am the Executive Director for EARS, and this is the latest in a series of webinars we've been organising. We're going to be doing a lot more this year, and because we're doing a lot more, we're able to create webinars that are maybe quite niche, quite specialist, maybe not relevant to everyone all of the time, and also create webinars that aren't necessarily that long. They can be short but useful and interesting, and I think this webinar certainly falls into that category, although I do actually think this is something that every single partner would benefit from. So I am actually recording this and I'll be sending it around to the entire EARS mailing list. And what we found so far is that double or sometimes triple the number of people that actually attend will actually watch it separately and click on the link to watch it separately, because as we know, people are really busy, especially during the day, looking after their animals. So it's an honor and a privilege to have Elisa here and Lara from Montedone to give you their experiences of using Amazon to not raise funds as such, but procure really, really valuable items and supplies for their organization. And they're going to tell you a bit about how they've done that so that maybe you guys can do the same at your organization. So I'm going to hand over to Elisa now and Lara, who are going to, I think it's about 15 minutes presentation, and then we'll have 15 minutes for questions and answers and discussion and things like that. Okay, I'm going to hand over to you, Elisa, now.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Yes, it was an idea that we have during the general partner meeting, and I'm happy to share with all of you this part of work. It's true that it's very hard for us take time to dedicate to social media communication, because we are all the time very busy with emergency and with animal. We are lucky to work and collaborate with Laura, that work with us since around 2 years, and she's the one that take care of this part. Obviously, with our help, in general, we try to collaborate and understand together what we need and which way we can use in a good way also social media. And so I leave the space to Laura to share our experience, what we have done during this last month. Okay. I'm gonna share the screen. Okay, si vede giusto? Okay, so I made a little introduction on how to create the Amazon list. I don't know if it's necessary, but I go quite quickly through the points. You have obviously to enter in the association Amazon page, and then there is a section on the right where you have to choose list, and then there is a part where you have to create the list. There are two options. The first one is the buy that you frequently do, and then the buy that you do once and that's it. Then you rename the list and you save it. It's very important, obviously, that the list remain on public so that you can share to other people. And when the list is done, you start searching on Amazon the things that you need to add to the list. You can add the quantity, and you can add the priority, like high, medium, or low. And there is also a little box under the object where you can add a comment, which we think it's really important because we use it to explain to people why we use a specific stuff, why we need a specific stuff, and what it's for. the object in the list is very simple. Instead of putting them on the chart, you put them in the list. Here is our link so that you can see how our list. We normally like add some medical stuff, some like bandage, stuff like that, razor, but also like more playful stuff, more enrichment stuff. So like here is our list. And you can create like multiple lists, specific animal or for a specific like for 2023 we created a Christmas list that we and we just put like more playful stuff, more Christmassy stuff for the animals. The pros are, first of all, that it's super easy because like everybody knows how to use Amazon. It gives you an enormous access to an enormous quantity of things, and it's easier for a donor to see and to choose where their money will actually go, which is, in my opinion, one of the most important thing, because like obviously a donor trusts the association, but you never know where their money are actually spent. So having the opportunity to choose a specific object for the animals that you prefer, that you like, it's really appreciated from people. Donors from almost everywhere can donate. Amazon is fast and effective in the delivery. It has secure payments and it has great customer service. The cons are that the fact that support Amazon is controversial for many people because of the environment and because of the work conditions. So our top tips are when you share the list, you always have to mention how it's useful for the job and for a specific project, and use it as an opportunity to support the mission of your association. The other important stuff is to choose wisely, to choose stuff that are a priority for animal well-being and that has good price. To keep in mind that a delivery problem can always happen, especially during festive seasons. Here in Italy, for privacy reasons, is the donor that needs to get in touch with the customer service. I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but I always get involved in these problems normally because they write to me and I always help them anyway. How to share the list. We put a link on our website and we share it always on social media. On Instagram, we use Linktree, which I think that all of you knows, I think, but it's free and it's really easy. And the links, it's added to the bio of the page on Instagram. I put some examples of our like list and the share on the social media. This is a swing for the chimpanzee, and a donor ordered to us, and we put it in the facility of the chimpanzee. And so Danny has this reaction, and we film it and we post on social. And this is the story. We put on our Instagram. And then example number 2 is an enrichment for the primates. And the same as before, we found it at a very good price and we added to the wish list. When it arrives, we gave it to Spike and he was really interested in this little play, and we filmed his reaction. Example number 3 is a chart that we needed for taking the meal to the felines. Same as before, we found it and we added to the list. When it arrives, we film our volunteers that we're doing like the everyday activity, and we use this clip into a video that we put on YouTube. Here are other examples. The dormouse with the walnut that we use. We put some walnut on the wish list because we found it at a good price and they were from Italy. So, and we filmed little dormouse. The parrot, it's another swing. Here. We always put the link. And the deer, because they bought us a scale, so we just take a picture of him. Some tips are that a donor can choose to indicate his or her name in the package, and they also can leave a little message. They sometimes write also on Instagram and Facebook. And if these are the cases, we always thank the donor via email or social. If it's something that you can do with the life of the center, we always take pictures and videos of the things in action. And we always mention the donor. We obviously can't put the name on the story, but you can mention privately. And they always really like it. And the last thing is that a great music choice can help to make like the story more interesting. The last thing is that we always use our ethics for this post, because we never take advantage of the animals, and we never film or take photos of animals that are suffering or that are hospitalized. We always choose to use a positive communication, and our aim is to just educate people on how important it is to have enrichments for the animals and to use the right behaviors. Okay.
That's great. I love it. I love it. I think it's such a simple thing to do. I've got some questions, but before we I take up all the space and ask my questions. If anyone has any questions, if they can use the hand function. If you look up at the top of your screen, there's a little hand with the word raise underneath. If you click on that, then I will hand over to you, and you can ask your question. Anybody got any questions? No? Okay, I've got some. Oh, Olga's got one. Olga, go ahead.
Yes, thanks a lot for the presentation. I also like it. And it's also only for the fundraising, but also then when you share the stories, it's so positive. You see the animals, how they benefit from it. I think that's also very nice for the communication in general, right? For the foundation. And I had a question, because you said that it's very important that you communicate why it's important for you, for the item that you are offering or that you post in the wish list. And how do you do that? How do you make it clear, or how do you communicate that you need it and for what?
Because when we share like a video or a photo of the animal, we normally like write, in the example it was in Italian, so I know it's not that easy, but we always write like we use like the reaction of Danny was like linked with the swing, and also the fact that an object can really help our work and our everyday life with the animals and with their enrichments and so on.
Mm.
But do you do it before you get the object or afterwards?
It depends, because sometimes we do after and sometimes we do it before, because for example, Lisa was saying that with the dormouse and the walnut, we were like the walnut wasn't like, we didn't find walnuts at a good price in the shops here in Italy. So but we were really needed. So we searched for walnuts on Amazon, and then we communicate to people that we really need those walnuts for the dormouse. And sometimes we do it after, like when the object is arrived.
Okay, and I have one more question, because maybe you mentioned and I missed it, but when you put something on the wish list, the person needs to buy and pay the whole amount, or they can also contribute and pay part of it?
No, they need to pay for the entire. Yeah, we just take care to choose stuff that has Prime, because otherwise they need to pay also for the delivery.
Thanks.
That's answered one of my questions, because I wondered if you could put maybe expensive laptops, things like that, that maybe one person couldn't pay for, but people could contribute towards. That would be a great feature. But what did you find in terms of price points? Obviously, if you have very, very cheap items, then you might end up spending lots of time chasing something that is not worth in terms of the money. But then if it's too expensive, people can't afford. What has been the kind of lowest and highest price sort of bracket?
Yeah, it's a really good question. We normally like put an average, like small stuff and bigger stuff. It depends on the donor. Like we have donors that are really linked to the association, that really are fidelized to the association. So they normally spend like a little bit more. For example, the chart for the felines was quite expensive. But we also have like more normal price stuff, and we just make them deliver to the center, so it's not that complicated because they just arrive to our doorstep.
Yeah. So the maximum is, say, 150 euros, something like that.
Yeah, in general, yeah, we never, yeah, just 200 maximum.
Okay. Yeah. And then the other question, oh, Lisa. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
Lisa.
I can't find a little hand because I'm on my phone.
Okay.
Can you still see me?
I can't, but I can hear you.
Oh, here you are. Okay, here I am.
You're back.
Yeah, just a quick question from me. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I was a little bit late. When you choose the objects to put on the wish list, do you go through like a bit of a check first to make sure that those objects are okay for certain animals? For example, there are some things on Amazon, like parrots, that you have to be a bit careful with because the wood isn't the right type of wood for them. If they eat it, they could harm themselves. How do you go about just making sure that what you're putting on that wish list is okay for the animal, being it plastic, being it wood? Do you have like some sort of procedure just to check that? It's just a curiosity for me because I think it's a great idea and I just want to see how you go through that.
Yeah, we always check that, and if we are in doubt, we always ask to the veterinary, like the veterinary that come to the center. Yeah.
Okay, good. So there's a pre-check before you actually just go and order the things. Okay, great.
Great, thank you. I had another question. Obviously, there's privacy issues, so somebody might purchase something on Amazon and you receive it, but you don't actually know who they are. Is that correct?
Yeah, because they choose to indicate the name or no. So yeah, it can happen.
But where they do provide their details, have you found that is the beginning of a kind of a donor relationship where you can recruit them as a supporter and send them, your emails and other appeals and things like that? Has it proven a good way to get engaged supporters on board as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Also because they really like the social part, because having like a video of an object that they buy, it's really nice to see the animal, the reaction of the animal. So they normally buy on Amazon again, or just do a donation on like normal way.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the real values I see there. I'm not a fundraiser, but when I've worked in bigger charities dealing with the fundraising departments there's a big difference between recruiting lots and lots of people quickly through an email, but actually having an engaged donor who really buys in and then will give long term is so much more valuable in terms of the lifetime than one-off donations where people aren't really that engaged. It's such a valuable thing. So I think it's really a great opportunity. Yeah, I've got other questions, but sorry, go on.
Another thing is that normally donors are also the one who adopt a specific animal. We notice that because we have adoptions, and we notice that a lot of people then adopt before or after adopt an animal.
Yeah. By the way, if anyone has questions and they want to just type them in the chat, I can ask them on their behalf if they prefer, just in case that's something they'd rather do. One of the things maybe after this that I might ask, maybe email with you, Elisa and Lara, is hello, Kat. Is maybe we could, if it's possible, I don't know if you have any software to record your screen, we could do a kind of a run through. So first of all, how to set up the right kind of account so that you have the right account that lets you set up wish lists and how you do that, but also then just to kind of go on, how do you create the listing, how do you write in the description, just a quick how-to I think would be useful for people. So if they're starting from zero, obviously they don't want to use their personal Amazon account, so they'll need to set up a new account for their organization. How do they do that? And then just walk through a couple of examples of how you add something and how you can, those sorts of things. I think that would be really useful. And when I share this presentation, we can then also maybe add that as well, so people can just see it from start to finish, how to go about that, if that's possible.
Yeah, sure.
Olga, you had another question?
Yes, a bit linked to what you're saying now, Dave, but I was wondering that you keep on adding items into this wish list, right? I guess, as you need them. And how do you get the attention back to the wish list? What is the way? How do you, how do donors know that they have to go to the wish list because they might be new things, or do they just regularly do that? How does that work?
We have it on the website, but we put like on the link on the stories on Instagram, on Facebook. You can put a little link that is it's called like it goes to the wish list.
Okay. And
then yeah.
Sorry, and then there is people that are following the activities and the in Instagram and so forth, and just get it. It's kind of a way to interact, right? Because they get to know about the animals, what you're doing, and they can be part by buying things they need.
Yeah, and we always send newsletter also.
Great. Oh, Elisa, I can't hear you. It's muted.
Yes, okay. One thing that I would like to say, we are in the same room, so at the beginning I didn't want to have the Amazon wish list because I was quite contrary. I I imagine was something too stress, too much work. But it's true that yes, in general, I don't like so much social media, but I think that is something very useful, especially for social media, because now that the communication goes very fast, people want to make donation also in a very fast way and see immediately the effect of the donation. And in this way, you really have a lot of feedback from Instagram story. You can see how many people click on the link that we put. It is incredible. The Dormos, yes, was really only a funny video that I take because he was hitting the nut, and I think what probably is one of the most successful posts. And it's true that in the shop near the center, we didn't find the nut, and we just asked to help us for the winter. So it was a sentence, very a joke in Italian, and people appreciate a lot. I saw some colleagues of other rescue center that post image of really injured animal, very suffering, and they ask for bandage things. Yes, we don't like that kind of communication, but in general on that, you see that people immediately help you with directly things that you use. So sometimes, for example, we say spring is coming, we need stuff, for example, for medication or things. And when you explain why you use things, sometimes, for example, you can show a deer with a bandage is enough. You say, okay, this is the way we use it. And it really give us a lot of feedback, really a lot. Yes, I always try to check the price because we usually have shop in which we buy things, but sometimes if they are more expensive in the shop, we try to find a cheaper way on Amazon. Never, yes, to be right on this.
Yeah, because sometimes on Amazon, especially Prime, it's a lot more expensive because you're getting it quickly, and really you're just paying for the postage and those sorts of things. But yeah, I think there's also a benefit there in when you're showing that mouse with the walnut or the parrot, there's a reason for you to show them because you're showing the product. Whereas for social media, there's this horrible tension. You feel like you don't want to just film animals for the sake of it, because then that starts to run against the ethical side of things. Should we be filming animals just to get social media engagement? Whereas here you've created a real legitimate context reason for why you're filming that mouse, because it's eating the walnut that the donors have bought. So it gives that opportunity as well, where the filming of the animals is for a reason, not just so that people see animals filmed in, cute animals, that kind of thing. I had one last question. Are you guys, I know that I don't know what it's called technically, but on Amazon, there's also an option where people can choose a charity, and when they just shop for themselves on Amazon, the charity gets a small amount as well. Are you familiar with that? Is that something you guys have done?
We don't know. We don't use it, but then probably we don't know it.
Okay. Might be something to, maybe we can add a link on about that, because there's definitely ways to do that. I don't know what the process is. It could be very long and difficult to get your name on that list from Amazon. But for me, for example, when I shop, the local cat rescue centre gets very small amount, but each year they're paid thousands of pounds from the various people who've chosen them. So it is quite local. It's not just big organisations and charities. You can choose quite local. That's in the UK, but maybe it's not possible in every country. I'll look into that. If there's any more information on that, I can share it with the rest of the recordings we mentioned. So, has anyone else got any questions? We're just right on time. These webinars are working really well, Olga. We're really keeping to time. It's good. Any more questions or comments before we finish?
We are Italian, but we are not late.
Yeah. So yeah, well, this has been really, really interesting. It's a perfect example of a small simple thing that a partner's doing that really every partner could try, and it could very, very quickly result in benefits. So I'm keen to get this all put together, and we'll send something out to the rest of the partners. And don't worry if you've not kept everything in your minds from this talk. We'll make sure that everything's provided separately so that you can click back in and see what you need to do to create your own Amazon wish list. And yeah, we'll share it with everyone else.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lara. Thank you, Elisa, for putting that together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right. Have a good
you.
Easter,
Bye.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Happy Easter. Bye-bye.
Bye.